Welcome to everyone listening in on this week's episode of Action with Podcast. You're listening to me, Lex, and today we have Suprina Thapa. Hi, Suprina.
Hi.
Firstly, thank you so much for trekking all the way across London. We'll get talking more about your journey in a second. But Suprina is someone who I've noticed and I've seen, in the past few years, journey through different forms of, I guess, media, whether it's TV, radio, podcast, and so on. And I think in a short span of time, you're making quite a mark for yourself. And I think there's more ahead. And you were also on the first season of Unmuted on Sky Arts, and I believe there's a season 2 coming, or has it already come out?
So, oh my God, I don't actually know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm going to say it.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I'm actually doing a whole new show now with Sky Arts. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, so we finished Unmuted and they asked me if I wanted to do this new show that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so right now, literally the whole summer, I'm shooting for that. And that will be out around like October time. So it's a whole different show to the point where like we don't have a name for it yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for that because this will be my second ever TV credit.
Oh my God, so congratulations.
Thank
that is so
you.
exciting.
Thank
and that's,
you.
with Sky again.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little about, like, is it going to be similar to the zine that was Unmuted, where you kind of delved into, like, interviewing artists and creators and so on? Is it similar, the format, or?
Yeah, like literally exactly the same. I think I'm going to do more artsy stuff because my passion is music, but I definitely feel like I want to go more out the box because I'm quite creative and I love exploring, especially different cultures.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed, that's what I'll be doing more in this new show that I'm doing. But yeah, culture, arts and music.
Culture, arts and music.
Yeah.
Great. On Sky Arts, hopefully dropping around October, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll keep an eye out. I saw you doing your thing on Sky Arts when that came out last year. Unmuted came out last year as well, and it was so good to see like a fellow Nepali person from the UK doing their thing. And it's baby steps, right? And everyone's doing their bit as well. But how does that make you feel as well? And you're someone who's been born and raised in the UK, but parents are from Nepal, and you have that roots pretty much there too.
Yeah.
And I guess I blogged about it too, and I guess you've caught the attention of many Nepali people because of the platforms where you're making your career, which isn't viewed by Nepali people strictly. So that sets your career trajectory slightly different, but it makes us more curious about that. But how does that make you feel, because you have your own kind of journey? And
I feel like it was bittersweet, only because because I found out that I was the first British Nepali ever to be on like British TV, which is a huge achievement, but also like why was I the first? Like it's 2020. It aired in 2020, but it's like, why is it only happening in 2020? And especially when I go to shoots, like I see nobody that looks like me or nobody that's Nepali, and it does kind of break my heart because I know, especially through Instagram, there's so many different creatives and I know they're so good at what they do. So I guess I question like why, but at the same time like I'm very thankful for my family. So my mom was actually born here as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
Yeah,
I thought it was just you.
No, so my mom was born here, but obviously both my grandparents was born in Nepal. My dad was also born in Nepal. So I feel like as well, my family have always been quite supportive, but I feel like I've always had a different type of upbringing than Nepali people of my generation, because most of them are either born in Nepal and they come here, or both their parents born here.
Yeah.
So I feel like I definitely got that more. I don't know, like my dad, he doesn't really understand what I do. Still to this day, he doesn't understand what I do.
Send him the link.
Yeah, literally, we were watching me on TV because when I'm on TV, my whole family like to get together and watch it in the living room, and he's still like, so is this live? Like, what is it? Like, just like, okay, he just doesn't understand. Whereas my mum is very supportive. Obviously, she understands everything that I'm doing. So I definitely get my push from my mum, and I'm just grateful for that.
Oh, that's amazing. And I think like having the right support from family, or sometimes friends who are like family, I think that takes you a long way. And but beyond Sky Arts, you are doing, and you have been doing, various radio spots for Foundation FM, hosting various events as well. What has been, I mean, but what year did you finish uni?
2019.
2019.
Yeah.
And obviously, we have to, the pandemic was there too.
Set me back.
Yeah, it set you back. But then I feel like, now you're really making up, or like you're really grabbing these opportunities and so on.
Yeah.
How do you kind of look back into that journey, like, or the past 2 years?
I was actually speaking to my friend about this the other day. I don't think I actually have really synced in how far I've actually come. I think right now, I'm so grateful. I'm getting one presenting opportunity and then another one backpedals off of that, and then another one, and it's like it's more word of mouth, like, oh, this person can present this, but so I've been wrapped up in that journey, especially this year, that I forget that when I started, I didn't know where to start, and I get so many people messaging me as well, like, how did you get into it? How did you start? And it's so hard because I sometimes forget, oh my God, like, how did this all begin? So I really try to like look back, because 2019 is when I graduated, and this was, so I think COVID happened in that year, but towards the end.
Towards the end, yeah.
Yeah,
Then 2020, early 2020 was when it kind of really like boom. Yeah.
Sunk in and stuff. So during that time, I just joined my local community. I was doing a lot of local stuff. And like, thankfully, somebody that was in my local radio station, he grew up with a guy who is the executive of Sky, and he sent my work.
Wow.
And that executive loved like my energy just through a video, and he invited me to the Sky studios. And then on that day, he said, I've got a show and I want you to host it. So from then, it's just been like,
snowballing.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely need to take time to like, I journal a lot.
Oh, great.
So I feel like when I'm writing, that's when I like really think in like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then also what I want to do by the end of the year. So I hope that answers the question.
No, it does. That's so exciting, because like, sometimes people have this, people have a grand idea of, where they expect to be, where they expect to work and so on, that you don't really look into what's around your area. What are some of the kind of local, whether it's media, opportunities and so on, etc., because they're like, oh, it's a small fry kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But then for you, that actually, you just don't know who you're working with, right? Because people know somebody, and that, word of mouth is what actually acts as a catalyst to take things and unlock things further, and which has been kind of your experience.
Yeah, I always say, like, to put yourself out there. If anything, talent is so important. Of course, you need to have the talent, but I actually think it's more, there's people out there who are doing so many big things who could be less talented than you are, but it's because they put themselves out there and were at networking events and like spoke to so many different people and just, like really challenged themselves. And I feel like those are the people that actually go far. Even if you have the talent, I believe that talent is just not enough.
Definitely. I feel like I agree with you there. It's like you have to be right place, right time, right people, right support as well, and just be open to grasping anything that comes your way. In this short amount of time, you've interviewed quite a few celebrities, artists, politicians, and worked alongside them as well. People are very big following, note, relevance, and so on. How does that make you feel like before you go and interview someone? Do you get nervous, or are you kind of like, you've done all the prep and there's no space for nervousness? What sort of person are you?
No, I definitely get nervous. Like, before, the thing is with me, before I do the shoot, I get nervous, especially if I'm memorizing my notes and like writing my questions. I always want to make sure I have enough questions. My thing is, I always expect, even if they're not, I always expect the person I'm interviewing to just have a boring conversation. So I need to make sure I have enough questions that even if they don't have a long response, I still have loads of questions to ask them that it will get out something. So me being over prepared helps me, like helps the nerves get a bit lesser. But when I'm in the moment, when I meet them, honestly, like all those nerves just go away, because, and I know this sounds so cliche, but they're literally another human being. And when you meet them, you realize they're just so normal. And usually when it comes to shoots and stuff, the presenter and the talent get time to speak before you actually go on air. And that talking time is so important, because I realize that like I learn so much about them and that they're just a normal person, and we just get to know each other literally just like friends. So when it comes to the actual shoot, I'm fine. Like I'm just,
you've got a common ground already. And
Yeah.
you just kind of start from that, right?
Literally. And because I have all my backup questions as well, I'm like, it's fine. It's going to go fine.
So clearly It's good that you can remember so much.
You know what? I knew I was going to be presented because from when I was young, and it's so funny because my granddad in Nepal, if he remembers anything about me, he remembers how I memorize. Because when I was a little girl, I have this technique that to memorize things, I have to be walking around my room. Like I'll read something and then we walking around. So like when my family know I've got a shoot coming up, I'm literally just walking around the house,
Yeah.
just talking to myself. Literally, that's how I memorize. So because I've had that much practice, I think it's so important to memorize questions because
Yeah.
it makes the conversation feel more natural as
Yeah,
well.
definitely. And I think, preparation really helps.
Oh, sorry, my phone's...
No, that's completely fine. But of course, going back to the question, celebrities, people, politicians, who's been one figure that you were really like, oh my God, I can't wait to interview this person, or see this person live, etc.
Oh my God, that's a really good question. I would say, can I say two?
Yeah, sure.
I would say it was my two most recent ones. The first one I'll say is AJ Tracy.
I saw that one.
Because
Yeah.
I am a fan of AJ Tracy and my family are hardcore Tottenham fans. I don't know if I should be saying this, but they're hardcore. So since I've been growing up,
Yeah.
my family has always been about Tottenham. They all have season pass. They go to every single game, literally die hard. And AJ Tracy is a really big Tottenham fan. So we've just always loved AJ Tracy and his music and everything else. So I was really excited to interview him. And I was so happy that when I did interview him, he's exactly what I thought he would be.
Oh my God.
He was such a nice guy. I would definitely say he's the most nicest person I've ever interviewed. Like he was so sweet. And then I would say my most recent one with Remy Bergs. She's a BBC One Extra presenter. And she was just like, when I mean like, before you interview someone and you have a casual, that conversation that we had, she's just so down to earth, so humble, so real that I proper got along with her.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say that so far, those two are my favorite ones I've done.
Touch wood, and I hope like every experience is like that, because sometimes, normally, not normally, but sometimes you meet or get an opportunity to like talk to somebody who you idolize or who you've seen and you're like, wow. And then you realize that they're not quite what you expected, and that hurts.
I've actually been through that.
Oh my God, have you?
I can't say who, but when I'm a huge fan and they're a big artist. I was so excited to interview them. Then when I met them, it wasn't so much me, but it was the way that they were treating the people around them.
Oh gosh, that's even a bigger turn off. Like, just be rude to me.
I know. I hated it so much. And it just gave me secondhand embarrassment as well, because it was literally the definition of being just a diva and being entitled. Like if somebody got something wrong, like they would just go off and like they were just in their own world, not saying hi to people, like not treating people how they deserve to be treated. That was a huge disappointment. I was like, wow.
Okay, cool. So a diverse set of experiences already then. So you can be prepared in the future if there's like more of such personalities coming your way. Moving along, you've also done real life events. Right, real life events. I think there was one in Brent. What was it? I forgot the title.
It's the God, I'm forgetting the title as well. It was like a Brent. It was like a political kind of. It was like the London Borough of Culture's event. That's what it was.
Okay, we'll leave it there.
That's what it was.
So it was that event. So what do you actually find really fun? Because obviously in those kind of events, you are hosting in front of a live audience, people, and you're trying to like raise their morale and everything. And then there's the radio element. There's the things that you record and you have a one-on-one and then edit to perfection. What do you enjoy the most?
Honestly, the audience. I feel like if I'm lucky, most of the times I've been doing it, I get a good reception off of the audience. But because obviously when I'm doing TV and I'm doing radio, it's just me and then the cameras. But with an audience, I actually get to speak to them and kind of bounce off of their energy. And there's some people that's just in the crowd and they give you like encouragement as well. Like, oh my God, you're such a great presenter. Well, like I'm really enjoying it. And having that encouragement, I love. I actually told myself at the start of this year, I want to do more live shows because obviously with COVID,
Yeah.
didn't really get to do that much. I made like a vow like this year I'm going to do so much more. And I have like the main things I've been doing this year is live events.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, they've been going like really well. Like I have a lot this month, but I'm basically going to Nepal for 3.5 weeks.
Oh, I see. Cool, cool.
So long. So I'm
Yeah.
literally trying to fit in all my shoots now before I go off at the end of July.
Yeah.
And then like the whole of August I'll be gone, and then all my live events start again in like
So
September,
talking about
October.
live events, obviously that was for, what was happening in Brent and so
Yeah.
on, culture. I think Sadiq Khan was there too.
Yeah,
I saw that
yeah.
picture. What else are some of the other types of live events? Is it like something for corporate companies or
Yeah.
or hosting like live gigs and so on?
Yeah, so what I do is, like that one was like more of a political one. I do live shows. So I have a radio show on Foundation FM. It's an R&B show. So I host like R&B nights where upcoming and emerging artists are performing. I really love doing it because I love listening to live music.
Yeah.
And I feel like emerging artists and upcoming artists deserve more recognition in
Oh,
what they do.
definitely. Yeah.
And the way they sing, like hearing them live is just, they're so amazing. And then getting to host at the same time. And then like after they finish performing, I get to interview them. Like, how was that? Do you have any new music out and stuff like
Yeah.
that? So I do live music. The one that I did recently was a festival, and it was a careers festival, but for creatives.
Yeah.
And then I got to interview so many different type of people. I got to interview the founder of Guap magazine.
Okay.
He's proper good, especially for Black creatives. He really champions that. I got to interview somebody called Bola, who is an author about how to save money.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was my most recent one. And then I'm hosting a few soon. And hopefully this year's going to be my first time doing festival press because I'm going wireless next week.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, that will be my first time doing like festival.
That's
which
amazing.
yeah.
Are you excited?
I am excited, but because I'm doing it for like my R&B show, so
Yeah.
I'm going on a day where there's R&B artists, so like Summer Walker, SZA.
Uh-huh.
I thought Jhené Aiko would be there, but I just found out today that she's pregnant, so
Oh,
I don't know if she's going to be there
Yeah.
anymore. But she was the one I really wanted to interview.
Uh-huh.
So I guess I'm more nervous with that because if there's anyone in this world I would want to interview, it would be Jhené Aiko.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one I
my
would
God.
probably cry if I saw
Yeah.
her.
Oh my God, that's so exciting. I hope you're able to interview
Yeah.
her and she makes it across. I'm
Yeah.
assuming she's somewhere in America.
Yeah, she is.
But regardless, have an incredible time in wireless. I
thank
think
you.
this is the final weekend, is it? It will be the final
Next
weekend.
week,
Next
yeah.
weekend. Yeah.
It's the final one.
Cool. You mentioned Nepal, so you're gonna go for 3 weeks. So
Yeah.
do you have an idea like what you're gonna be up to during those 3 weeks?
Oh my God, because I haven't been there obviously for a long time since COVID. So I used to go every 2 years because my dad's family all live there. So my granddad, my grandma, and my cousins and all his sisters live there. I am looking forward to it. The thing is with my family in Nepal, it's a very big family. So I know that it's basically going to be house jumping, like
Oh gosh.
going to this
Yeah.
person's house, and that person's house, and that person's house. And basically, long story short, my granddad and my granddad's brother are like the colonels of the army for the royal family.
Yeah.
So they're very well respected in like the army. I don't know if this is correct terminology.
Yeah. Okay.
But yes,
there, yeah.
So basically, my granddad's really strict. So whenever I go to Nepal, I do feel like I don't get to explore Nepal the way I would
Yeah.
want to.
Uh-huh.
And I'm always envious of when
Oh,
people tell me
no.
like they go to Nepal, especially tourists.
Yeah.
Because literally, when they tell me all these things, they're like, "Your country's so beautiful." Like, no one has ever said to me that Nepal's not beautiful. I feel like everybody agrees that Nepal is a beautiful country. But I always say, you know what? You've probably seen more of Nepal than I have
Yeah.
ever seen. Because I literally just stay with my family.
Oh my God, we need to change
That's
that.
it. I know. I did say to my mum, I am gonna do this. I'm going to Nepal without my granddad knowing, just so that I can explore Nepal
Yeah.
for myself.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I'm going like this year, and I'm like planning to shoot a few bits as well because this company wants me to shoot like local life in Nepal.
Yeah.
But only tricky part is I can't speak Nepali properly. So it will be very difficult for me. But I'll have my cousins. So
Yeah,
hopefully
but
they
depending
can.
on who's watching, I guess you can just speak in
Yeah.
English, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it'll be an English thing, but I feel like locals don't want to speak to you if you don't.
Yeah, to get the
I'll get my
like richer
cousin.
conversation
Yeah,
and
I'll
so
get my
on.
cousin to be like,
Yeah.
ask them this.
And yeah, you need to figure out a way of going to Nepal, maybe without your family, but maybe with trusted cousins or
yeah, of
people who are
course.
your age, so you can
Yeah.
have fun.
Yeah.
And then just go and explore Nepal in a way that other people your age would be.
You've probably seen so much of Nepal.
So much, yeah. And that's why I feel like, it's great to house jump, eat great food, and see family members because, we do live such separated lives as well. But equally, there's so much that you can gain from just being out and about and seeing Nepal. And I would want a lot of people, regardless of, where you're from, to experience that. And
I have gone paragliding though.
oh, have you?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
I
good.
did in Pokhara. I went there.
Yeah.
That was probably the best thing I've ever done.
Oh my God. It's only going to get better.
Oh, I hope
I was
so.
really bored when I was paragliding. So yeah, and the person put on he had a little sound box speaker and then he put it on and yeah, I think I nearly fell asleep as well.
No, what?
It was very gentle. Like I just felt like, okay, now the what and so on. But
I was really. Didn't you feel like nervous, like that butterfly feeling in your stomach with the heights, or no? You're just
no, because I felt like there's somebody that you can really trust
behind you,
right?
yeah.
If I was alone, then no,
Okay.
right? But when I did the bungee jumping, because you're there by yourself and everything is in your own.
I couldn't do bungee jumping.
Yeah, that's what, in Nepal. Like, there's a lot of places where you can bungee jump now. Even in Pokhara, there's like one or two. So,
would you say that is like a very scary experience? The bungee
yeah,
jump?
yeah, I was like really scared. So that
Yeah,
was
that
like
seems
that's
a bit
when I felt
crazy.
like like you feel like your heart just stops beating for a split second. That's how I felt, and I've only felt that once. This was in Alton Towers. I went to Alton Towers.
I figured to say something way more.
Have you been to Alton Towers?
Yeah.
So there's the Oblivion, which goes like boom like that.
Yeah.
But I was in year 7 or year 8 when I did that, and I literally felt like when I was trying to scream, nothing came out. So with bungee jumping is like that, but like worse. So
would you do that again?
I would do it again.
Wait, what?
Yeah, but because after that you realize you can do it and anyone can do it and so on, right?
Oh, not me.
Yeah.
There's
So-
some things I would never. I feel like you're the type of person to go like skydiving.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I wouldn't do it in the UK because I feel like it's so boring here.
Oh yeah, no, not here. Where would you want to do it?
Probably somewhere with a dramatic landscape down below. Maybe like Grand Canyon or or maybe Dubai because they have so many artificial islands and it looks pretty, but not like rolling countryside.
Yeah, this.
So in terms of obviously like your background, your mom was born in the UK, you were born in the UK, and you're a northwest Londoner through and through.
Wembley. Yeah.
Yeah, and you've never lived anywhere outside that area.
Literally born and bred in Brent, and that is it. Like I feel like I've been in a bubble. Like I said earlier, like last year was the first time I ever stepped foot into South London. Today was the first time I ever took the DRL. I hope that's the correct term. Literally, I've just been in my bubble so much that yeah, I'm just so used to my area.
So I'm really surprised how you ended up picking University of Kent to go and study because like obviously for a lot of people University of Kent is not a different choice, but if you have been a city girl throughout and so used to all the hustle bustle, the diversity and the mix, Canterbury is quite a small, it feels slightly retiree in terms of, its presence and energy. How was that for you?
It's funny that you say that because honestly, my thought process when I was picking uni is I need to live out. That's all I was thinking.
Okay.
And backpedaling off of that, I never wanted to go to university. I thought I want to be a presenter. Like, this is my main thing. I want to be a presenter. Me personally, I feel like you don't need to go to university to become a presenter.
Yeah.
In my own journey, I feel like that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
But my parents wanted a degree.
Of course.
And I literally, when I graduated, I said to my mom, "This is your degree. This is what you take." So
this is your hat.
Literally, you take it, you have it. So I did politics in university because I felt as if I didn't want to study media. I feel like I just wanted to do it more. I just wanted to challenge myself. So I did politics in the University of Kent, but I still did like Kent television there. But yeah, my main aim was just to move out And I felt like Kent was the good balance between moving out but not being too far from home. And also, this sounds so silly, but I didn't think that, I don't know why I didn't think it was the countryside. In my head, I actually thought it was still city life before so when I chose the uni, I thought, so the first time I went to Kent, I was in for a shock. I was like, oh my God.
Wait, did you not go on one of these like open days or taster or to check out like your...
I never went.
What is it? Accommodation and stuff?
I never went.
Oh gosh. Okay.
So when I went there, I was like, oh my God, this is so different. Like, especially with from the people, like where I'm from, it's very multicultural. There's so many different cultures. So when I went there, I was like, this is just very different, a whole different experience. So I was just like, yeah.
That's one way to put it.
So I should have thought about this one. But yeah, I'm glad I went to uni now because I feel like I've experienced a lot of things that I might not have. But yeah, I'm still iffy about my uni experience.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. I still feel like if I didn't go uni, I might have been further in my presenting career than I am now.
I see.
But at the same time, I'm happy I got a degree. I'm happy that I graduated. And I feel like I learned a lot about my character. So I guess everything happens for a reason. So just...
That's a nice way to summarize it. And I think for a lot of people who are listening, especially if you're at that age where you're kind of considering about going to uni and stuff, I think it's really important to not expect too much from going to university or thinking that degree will actually change your life forever, because a lot of the times it doesn't. But what those 3 years does give to you is, especially if you're living by yourself, you get to know more about who you are, how you work, or if you don't work, because some people don't, or like how you thrive in like, friend situations and so on. And I guess like, your path to becoming a slightly more independent or responsible adult. I think that's probably much.
Yeah. I mean, I hope I did that. But I'm still a horrible cook. I was literally...
Oh my God, same. I just realized going to uni, I did not want to cook. I want a job where I can sit down. Ideally, I'd like a cook. I
thought I was going to be a chef when I came out of uni, and I literally lived off like chapter and YY. Like literally that's all I was eating, to the point where I can't even eat YY anymore because it just reminds me of uni, and I'm just like...
It's like PTSD.
Yeah. I was like, I can't even eat it. But my brother loves it, so he's always eating it. And even the smell, I'm like, oh my God, get that away from me. Like I literally could... Yeah. Not a cook. I can't cook.
Okay, so you did politics at uni, but you mentioned that you were involved in various kind of media and the TV in the uni network. Is that correct?
Yeah, the societies. Yeah, so Kent TV. That's what it's called.
Yeah, and then you left. You came back, and now like you're in full swing in terms of Sorry, I nearly said acting, but in terms of
I was going to do acting.
Present. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that something that you would like to kind of try out in the future again? Or
hell no. Like to? You know what? I actually chose acting in the beginning because I thought it was the only way I could be on TV. I didn't even know about presenting. I've just always wanted to be on TV. But I realized with acting, I only wanted to play characters that were like myself, like young girls. And I realized as an actor, you should be able to put yourself in any role, in any character. And I realized I can't do that because I am empathetic, but I can't be that person. And I was just like, this is not for me. I just want to be myself. And the only way I can be myself was through presenting. So that's how that happened.
And I think that's great because like you have such, dynamic personality and you have so much energy. And I think that's what people love about, their hosts, whether you're hearing them on radio or on whatever device that you listen, or you see them live in front of you, and they are the ones who actually raise the energy bar, etc., and so on, and you're a natural.
Thank you.
Which is great. So is there like a dream kind of gig or something that you would like to do in the next few years?
I definitely want to do like more TV. I've actually always wanted to do, I feel like this is like above my age range, but I've always wanted to do something like Loose Women or like This Morning. Like I love breakfast shows. I love watching like those breakfast shows.
You know what? Now that you say it, I feel like, okay, kind of makes sense, but it is quite surprising how the morning daytime telly seems to have basically just older hosts.
Yeah.
Yeah, there should be
Yeah.
something for younger people too, right?
And you know what? A lot of people in the TV industry are really advocating for that, like younger people. But I think if you think about like the UK, like even though I'm in my own bubble and Brent is very multicultural, but the whole UK as a whole,
Yeah.
it's dominant by one like
Yes,
race
yeah.
and kind of one look.
Yeah.
So even if something little changes in that, there's a lot of people that will be angry. Like a lot of
Yeah.
viewers that will be like, oh, where's this? Who's this? And I think a lot of people in TV, especially mainstream TV, they like to keep it safe.
Yeah.
And like, oh, let's just go with what's familiar.
True.
And I hate that. I really want that to change because it just stops other creatives from coming up. And then when they do put different creatives on their shows, it's also people that don't really resonate with other different societies. I just feel like there should be a mix. Honestly, I'm kind of bored of seeing the same old people on TV.
I know. I feel like they've never changed, and
I
I
know.
think that's their main thing. So and so has been on this show for like the past 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's such a, I mean, it is a matter of pride for them, but I guess it's also like, but why are they there for so long? You know, why can't it kind of, you know, why can't they jazz it up and reflect the times of now, or like at least do something so in the future more people feel represented and like they see people like themselves.
I feel like they feel like because it's familiar and it's so bad to say, but it feels like, oh, they look British. Like this is what like British television is when like we've all changed now. We've all like it's very diverse. So that's not what it looks like anymore.
Correct. Yeah.
But
I'm talking about like, you know, who looks British and so on. You know, you are somebody who grew up in the UK, etc., Nepali heritage and so on. So growing up, did you ever have that kind of feeling of, obviously there's your, you know, Nepali parents, grandparents and so on, but then you're like in Brent, which is great because, you know, you don't suddenly feel like you're an outsider because when you do grow up outside the UK, London, I grew up in mainly non-London spaces and you're the only like few brown brown South Asian person, and so you feel like, oh my god, I really am, and that's when you lean into your Nepali identity so much. But then you go to Nepal and you realize, oh my god, but actually I'm not just Nepali. I am a huge chunk of what the UK taught me, and you know, the person that I became when I studied in the UK, etc. too, right? You have that, but obviously you were in Brent, so it's like everyone is from everywhere else, and the UK, the London is home as well. But did you ever have like, how did you kind of like view or kind of, you know, reflect on your own, I guess, dual identities and different cultures?
Like I could speak about this topic for so long because I'm so passionate about this. But even like growing up in Brent, I was the only Nepali girl. Like usually when I tell people I'm from Nepal, they go, "Oh, I've never met someone." Still to this day, I'm very surprised when people tell me they've never met a Nepali person before, because I feel like within our community we're really growing.
Yeah, we are.
But at the same time, there's a lot of people that haven't met Nepali people before. But I definitely struggled, and I really struggle. And I think it's also because not only am I British Nepali, but also my mum and all my mamas were born here. But they're all Nepali. So my grandparents came here in the 70s to open up one of the first ever Nepali restaurants, which was in Brent.
What was it called?
It was called The Light of Nepal.
Oh, okay. That's a nice name.
Yeah, and now that one closed, and then they had a new one called Wembley Tandoori.
Yeah.
And then now...
I went to that one.
Really?
Oh, I think I know one of your uncle.
Really?
Mr. Casey.
Oh my God, that's my mom's brother.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's my mom's brother.
Okay, what a small world.
That's such a small world. Yeah, he's my mom's brother. So yeah, like you've met him, that mama, he grew up here. Like we're all very much very British Nepali. And I did feel like when I first started coming into presenting and more Nepali people like speaking to me and kind of knowing me, I did kind of get attacked from Nepali people, which is like such a shame because I remember like this one person like saying to me, I don't think you should call yourself British Nepali. You should call yourself Nepali British, because why are you letting the British be first? But I felt like this person didn't know I was born here. Fair enough, maybe if I was born in Nepal and I came here, it kind of would make sense to be called Nepali British. But I was born here, and I think because a lot of people don't know that, and especially with my mum and my mamas, we've always felt like a minority within the Nepali community because they don't really know anyone like them as well, apart from our close family friends. I feel like I know everyone in London who was born here and their parents are also born here, because I've never met another Nepali person whose parents and all their mamas were actually born here as well.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've always struggled, and obviously like in the UK in general, I'm a minority, and like I said, not a lot of people know about Nepal. When I was in primary school, I actually got bullied for my eyes, and my eyes are not even that small.
Yeah.
But people actually used to call me Chinese. And when I was younger,
that's really interesting.
when I was in primary school, I actually, because I'm just this young, vulnerable girl, I actually thought, oh my God, like, am I actually Chinese? Like, people used to like say, no, you're Chinese. But and my eyes were not even that small either. And I was just like, why are they saying this? Like, I'm Nepali and stuff. So like I've had like my fair share of racism, even like growing up.
Yeah.
Like this one white woman on the bus said to me, because she tried to push me.
Yeah.
And then when I argued with her, because I'm very much stick up for myself. When I argued with her, she turned around, she said to me, I can't believe you can actually speak English.
Oh my God.
And I've never gotten that before, because I was just like, I don't even look fresh. So why would you even say it? But at the same time, why would you say it to anyone anyways?
Yeah.
So I've had my fair share of that, but
so
even
annoying.
within the Nepali community, I've also had my fair share of hate within them.
Yeah.
I actually have no Nepali friends. I actually have nobody that I've grown up with, nobody that I know now who is Nepali. And I could say like all my friends are all like different cultures and stuff, which is sad. I feel like I've always wanted Nepali friends, but I've also felt like a lot of Nepali girls who were born in Nepal and stuff, because they have more in common, naturally they all gravitate towards each other.
Correct.
Where I feel like I've been, not that I'm more British, because I'm very much still Nepali, but like my dad was born in Nepal. I go there every 2 years. But I also felt very like attacked for being really British, but also very attacked for being Nepali. Because everything I do within my presenting, I still focus on Nepal.
Yeah.
And I still make sure that, it's just,
No, I completely understand like where you're coming from. And of course, going back to that one comment from somebody, I think there's a section of the population that are really hooked on that on identities, on I guess us having to be from only one place. Like, you're 100% Nepali, that's it. Because if you are 80%, then you're actually saying that you're not proud to be 100% Nepali, etc. and so on. I think some section of the population feel like that and view it like that. But now I think it's really important to recognize that regardless of where we're born or how long we've lived somewhere, it really comes down to us and how we identify and what we think is something that we want to celebrate and take it forward. And if that means that, you do identify yourself as a British Nepali, then I think people really should calm down and make that space, because there's better in more. And for you, even more, because you're actually born and raised here. And I can totally understand sometimes the challenges of finding commonality and grounds with young Nepali people who have more shared experiences. They know more of the pop culture lingos in Nepal and so on.
God, yes.
I think these kind of things sometimes make people feel isolated, because I do this thing where we take young adults, 18 plus, to Nepal, and we have some who are born in the UK, and when we're in Nepal and we're like sitting around a fire and singing in groups and so on, and majority of the songs tend to be like Nepali songs, and some of our team members who are very young, they never grew up listening to that song, right? Because they knew all like the hits from here. And I guess they missed that pop culture references and moments. And I never thought, I've thought about it, but it's much more like 100% when they actually tell you. Like, suddenly I felt like I thought I was Nepali, but then being here, and they're all people like me, but then I still questioned, oh my God, maybe I'm not. And then I was just like, I'm so sorry that you felt that way, because it should not, that should not be the thing. But also never think that because of somebody knowing something, that's a barometer to how much of a one thing you are. Do you get what I mean?
I know, I 100% agree. And I think that everyone, regardless of anything, the way that I want to identify myself, the way that anyone wants to identify themselves, no one else should question. If someone wants to identify themselves as something, who are you to tell them, oh, you shouldn't? Like that, to me, that's crazy, because I would never go to someone. I would never in a million years go to someone and be like, why are you doing this? Like, that's none of your business. And like, I feel like we should embrace every different type of person and not feel that. But I've definitely felt really isolated, like within like the Nepali community. And I've never tried to let that affect what I do within the media industry, because my main goal is to come up in presenting and then create an organization just for Nepali people to get into the creative industry. And I really don't care who says, oh, why are you doing it just for Nepali people? It's because there's nothing out there for Nepali people to get into the and I mean like the big places, like the big companies, which they deserve to be part of. So that's what I would want to do. And I'll always advocate for Nepal. Like in an interview, whenever someone asks me a question, like I always go, I'm Nepali, I'm so proud, like you should go there, like always advocating. But at the same time, like obviously I have felt isolated. And like you said, the small things about like singing these Nepali songs, like I don't know any of them. I went to a shoot the other day with all these Nepali girls, and like I went with my sister because I knew I would feel left out. And I did, because literally when we were doing the photo shoot, it was all Nepali music. And I don't even like speak Nepali. So it's just
But it's cool. I think like, you know, as long as you, sometimes I think somewhere along the line you get more comfortable. You're like, that's it. Like this is me. I'm Nepali, but I don't get half the references that you point out. But that doesn't make me any less.
I'm a different type of Nepali. And that's okay.
I normally always felt like that as a boy, but then a boy that didn't like football and that knew nothing about football. So I just felt like, oh my God, does that not make me a boy now? So it's like half the time whenever football was mentioned, I'm just like, oh my God, hide, run. So I mean, it's a different kind of analogy there, but yeah.
No, but similar in a lot of ways.
Talking about, you mentioned that, you know, why chatpate. So what are some of the things that you really like you eat, or some of the Nepali things that you do?
My favorite food, hands down.
I mean, you come from a family of restaurants, so
true, but the best food in Nepal, hands down, is Nawari food. I love Nawari. Like, to me,
is that your heritage or
no?
Your
so,
Thapa?
My dad's Thapa, my mom's Tamang.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, but oh my God, I love like aloo cha. I love choila. Choila is my favorite. Chapade, I'm not gonna. I eat like nearly every day.
Oh my God.
I do believe I make the best chapade.
Do you like it spicy or?
Yes.
Oh wow,
yes,
that's surprising.
I like
so
it.
You
really
are Nepali.
I know. I love it spicy. And the thing is, like, my sister likes it spicy as well, but she likes it really lemony. I don't like it lemony. I don't know if I should actually say this, but I might.
This is the third time that you're saying this.
I'm saying this. I'm just airing it all out right now. I don't know if I should, but I feel like I'm the only Nepali person who doesn't really like
Momo.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Really? Oh, how interesting.
And my whole family grills me for this, because everyone that's gone to a Nepali restaurant, they praise about momo, and I get it. But if I go to a Nepali restaurant, I'm not ordering momo. I wouldn't actively go out there and eat momo, because I prefer Nawari food.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's really interesting.
I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm like an alien for saying that. Literally, my family just so shocked. Like, I feel like if you're in Nepal, you have to like momo.
And momo is just like, now it's just becoming such a common, easy dish as well. And a lot of non-Nepali people like dig it, because I guess it's our version of the dumpling, and there's so many different versions of dumplings as well. But I love chatpati too. I love chatpati, but I just really, obviously maybe because I'm like really bored with cooking and so on, but you know, chopping all those different things, I just feel like it's such a process.
It's so long, and then you eat it and you finish it in 2 seconds. No, I actually feel, but I'm actually so upset, because apparently I heard, I don't know if this is true, that in Nepal now they got rid of like the
street vendors and so on. I feel like they keep doing that every once in a while, but I hope they come back, because you know, these people need to make a living as well.
I know.
You know,
I was so upset about
that's a economy in itself. But in the 3 weeks while you're house hopping, I hope you get to eat some yummy food at home, but also like, you know, from the streets and so on.
Definitely, because my excuse is, I'm going to say to my granddad, like, I have to film content, and I can't just film content from my house all the time. I need to go out. So I think they've planned for like an army guy to come with me out, like.
Wow.
So I was just like, you know what?
Yeah.
Just get us anyone, but I just want to go out. And obviously, like my boy cousins,
Yeah.
the thing is, this is actually a really interesting question to ask because I don't know if it's just my family, but like the women in my family, we're not allowed out at a certain time. But I know that women go out late at night, but they've always made me feel like Nepali women can't go out at night. I don't know
They
how true
can.
that is.
Nepali women can go out.
Okay,
And
thank
Nepali
you.
women do go out. You know,
Okay.
there are huge clubs in Kathmandu as well now. And, you know, people do go out. But then I think when you are around your family and
Yeah.
when you are somebody who is as young as you,
Mm.
not to say that people your age aren't going out, but I think when you're with family, you're always seen as the child, right?
Yeah,
And so
definitely.
it's so easy and common for a lot of young women to be, I guess, restricted in that sense, or like don't trust the taxi drivers and so on.
Mm.
But actually, relatively speaking, in comparison to a lot of other cities in the world, Nepal is a lot safer. Nepal is a lot safer.
Okay.
So, you know, one day you should come on the trip that I organize because it takes a lot of young people similar to yourselves or
Okay.
young people whose parents are worried about letting them on the loose. So that's why they send it to, you know, with Tracing Nepal, and then I take them around. And the parents would probably be surprised with the different places that we go to. Like we go clubbing and everything, but then we do lots
Really?
of kind of volunteerism, social good
Oh
kind
my
of
God, when do you
work as
do
well.
that?
We do that once a year, but like I think we're gonna restart it next year at some point.
I would
Yeah.
definitely love to do that. That's
Um,
something I'm definitely
And we have
interested.
Nepali people from like not just the UK,
Yeah.
America, Belgium,
So
Germany,
cool.
Hong Kong, Singapore, and so on. And then you realize that, you know what, depending on where you come from in the world,
Mm.
your how you identify as a Nepali person and wherever from the world, it really shapes you because the
Yeah.
UK Nepali tend to be slightly reserved. Then
Mm-hmm.
the American Nepalis are so much more like they have very similar personality to you because they're all like about talking and you know really being the first person to be like, what do I do? Can I
Yeah.
help and so on? And you
Yeah.
see that in the Nepali people that you are with.
Mm.
But anyways, yeah. So I guess your grandfather is being very protective, which I can totally understand. But yeah, maybe in the future you can kind of venture by yourself as well. So that should
I'm
be fun.
definitely gonna
Or
do
with
that.
some of your boy cousins. But then obviously, like in such families, like how the boys get treated and girls get treated, there's different set of rules.
That's
So
literally my
yeah,
family.
but
Not
keep pushing.
yeah, not my family here, but my family in Nepal.
Yeah.
Definitely like gendered and like
Yeah,
just
you need to keep pushing. You need to like, you know, if there's anyone who's gonna break those barriers and so on, it's the Gen Zs, and I believe you're
yeah.
a Gen Z. So a lot of pressure on
I
you
think I
there.
am.
I think you
I
are.
think I'm not. I'm 23.
Yeah, you
Oh
are.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you are
I
Gen
always
Z.
get confused.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which one?
No, you are a Gen Z. So that's that. Oh my God, I had a question, but I completely forgot now. So we just got sidetracked with all the things that we were talking about,
Yeah.
Nepali stuff. But yeah. Oh yes. So basically, obviously, I had wanted you to come on this podcast and for us to have this conversation. But one of the person that was actually recommended was your mum.
Really?
Yeah, so somebody actually said your mom, I think her name like starts from P. Yeah,
Pushpa.
yeah, and then I didn't want to say it out loud, so that's why I
Yeah.
said P, but I obviously know her name.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh, let me look her up and so on and so on. But then I just thought, you know what? I have so many more people who are like, you know, 30s and plus.
My mom's
So I
gonna love
wanted
this,
more
by the way.
Gen Zs. So that's why I was just like, okay, let me ask Suprina first,
Yeah.
and then maybe eventually we can speak with the mother and so
That
on.
is so funny. My mom's gonna love this.
Yeah.
My mom is like, I'm not being biased. She's such a boss. She's the definition of a boss woman. She owns her own travel agency, Wexair, and she helps like a lot of obviously Nepali people go to Nepal.
Yeah.
And she works like with other different Asian countries. But she's literally done this business herself. She's literally such a hardworking woman. She has 3 children. And she's literally, like I said, the definition of a boss. Like I literally, my mom, I admire my mom, and also she's very outgoing. Like she speaks
Okay.
to everyone and anyone.
Sounds like you.
I literally get from I get
Yeah.
from my mom, but her as well. I think that she would be a great person to interview only because she is more of a mixture between being proper Nepali and British. Because obviously her parents were born in Nepal.
Yeah.
And she's really lived that experience. And I'm so proud of her because of the way she's changed over the years to break barriers herself.
Yeah.
And yeah, mom's a wise woman.
Oh my God. Okay. That was a perfect little kind of spiel for your mum. So I think
Yeah.
I'll definitely be messaging her.
No, 100%. And she'll love it. And But when you get her, you need to like have this place for like 3 hours because she could talk for ages.
Yeah, we'll probably like open it up because
She
she's
will
probably
talk for
seen
long.
more, done more in life and so on, and I guess
Literally.
seen the community grow, shape,
Yeah.
remold itself as well.
Yeah.
So that will always be interesting. But thank you so much for coming on and
for
kind of
having me.
sharing a bit about yourself, your story, and I hope there's going to be more story sharing in the future because you have such a long career ahead of you. And going back to what you said about university and sometimes feeling like maybe those 3 years took time away from me and so on, but I feel like with the way that you're going and with all the different things that are happening, albeit slightly slowly in the world, whether it's conversations around inclusion and so on, but I feel like this is the perfect time and there's going to be more, and we have to believe in that.
No, thank you so much for having me, and I've actually really enjoyed this, even though I've aired out all my business on it. Thank you.
Next time we're gonna have to meet up for chatpate. So
Oh my god, 100%. Because
yeah.
I go to, I don't know where you like. What Nepali restaurants do you go to?
um um um, um, um that's a really tricky question because a lot of them aren't good. So,
Oh, okay. So I
yeah.
go to like really, well, to me, it's my favorite one, but obviously I'm from Brent. I
Yeah.
don't know if you know Brent well. There's one called Chodari, I don't know, or Golden
Oh yes,
Six.
yes, yeah. I've been to those. Okay, they're good. They're
Good.
authentic.
They're
So they're the ones
not
that
far
are for
from my
like good
house.
taste.
I'm so lucky they're
Okay.
not far from my house.
Yeah.
There we go there all the time. Whenever it's someone's birthday, we go there.
Yeah. Okay, cool. No, those are, I rate that well. I thought you were going to literally say some Nepali restaurant that actually cater more like Indian food. And then I would have been like, oh gosh, this girl doesn't know.
When you go to a restaurant and you see actual Nepali people eating there, like the majority of Nepali,
That's when you know. That's when you know.
It's a good restaurant.
Okay.
If
Oh,
you
that's
see like
good.
other people, then you know. Okay.
Okay, you have good taste. All right then. Well, thank you so much, Suprina.
Thank you.
And to everyone still listening, thank you for sticking around. Toodles.